Welcome, hello, and bienvenue to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here on the Ile Notre Dame in the middle of the St. Lawrence River in Montreal, Canada. How are we doing tonight, folks? It's Ferrari Net 94 here once again filling in for Deer Hunter. Q1. Y'all know how this works. 5 drivers will be eliminated at the end of the first 18-minute session. Got a few new names in here. Going to take a quick look at a couple of the cars going out really quick. First guy out on the track is Wives in the Red Bull. Looking to see how he can do after last week's performance in Baku. Set up really quick here. Show that full track map. Second car out is going to be Taylor Clan in the Mercedes. Currently, I believe he won last week actually. If I'm not mistaken, doing very well in that car. Obviously this car to be in, and Taylor is definitely no slouch of a driver. He's in Tier 2 and doing very well in that as well. Looking back behind that, who have we got next? We have got Ritzy Raccoon in the Williams. He'll be looking to make some impression to see if he can't get himself out of that car. SF1 Rhodes left the session there in the Alfa Romeo. Behind Ritzy we have... who's that? There it is, SSR Joe in the other Williams. He runs a little bit deep here. Yellow flag in Sector 3 as looks like Taylor just sets up well for the lap. We're actually going to follow along with Taylor here, if I can find him. Everybody's so out of sorts from where I'm used to seeing him in this order. There he is. Okay. Following along on this lap, kind of get an idea of what the circuit is. Here we go into turns 3, 4. I'm trying to make sure that's right. Yeah, I believe that's right. Purple Sector 1, obviously in the Mercedes. Right up on the back of BRL Exia, who is in the McLarens. He's on an outlap, so he'll get out of the way quite easily there. Key to this session is just survival. You do not want to bin the car. You do not want to be in the bottom 5. So, if you can meet those 2 criteria and move on to the second session, you usually have a pretty good chance in a car like this of making your way on to Q3 and in the top 10. So, the big feature of this track is this long back straightaway, car reaching well over 200 miles an hour when everything's turned up and it's enriched. 333 kilometers per hour before he slams on the brakes into the chicane, missing the wall of champions, actually tags it just a little bit. Wibe sets the first time at a 110.666. Hopefully it doesn't go badly for him. Taylor with a 109.013, and looks like we got a car around, possibly at the exit of the final chicane. Who is that? Looks like Ritzy may have spun. Yep, he's got a little bit of damage there on the wing. One of those new guys I talked about. Let's see where he's got to. There he is, DRC Jared in the Haas. So we'll see what he can do. He's a pretty quick guy. Not exactly the quickest car in the world, but we'll see if he can improve upon their current situation. Only scoring 1 point right now for the American team. Coming up to start his lap, we're going to give him a little bit of camera time here. Actually finishing his lap, excuse me, goes to a 110.2, so only about 1.3 seconds off the top there from Taylor's time. Not too bad considering the difference in cars, and for our first lap in Q1. We'll see how that progresses as the night goes on. Let's see who else is out on the lap. Boss Cookie, this guy is always towards the front in these. Very quick driver in a pretty quick car. And hang on just a second. Where's he at? I should have him on my friends list. There we go. All right, back to the action here. We are looking at Boss Cookie. He's actually gone up to second place now in the McLaren with a 109.7. Taylor's still sitting on the top. He's actually retired from the session. I'm not sure if he crashed out or what happened there. I'm actually going to take a quick look to see if he has a terminal damage marker next to his... looks like he retired. Looks like he has retired from the session of his own volition. So he believes that 109 dead will be safe. Yellow flag in Sector 2, as looks like one of the Mercedes, looks like that's Phantom getting passed, and the other Mercedes by one of the Renaults, I believe. No, that's actually one of the Racing Points, one of my cars. That is Zaizu running around in the Racing Point. Only his second race in. He did not actually make last week. So we had MRL Brown, who is now full-time in the AlphaTauri, and doing quite well, currently sitting just behind Boss Cookie in 4th place. Doing very good in that car. Kind of miss having him in this car, to be honest. But Zaizu, also a very competent driver. We'll see what he can do. Only second race in this car. As I mentioned, his teammates got one on him. And number 1 Fin Fan. He's done 2 laps. Done a 110.697 to go P8 as SSR Zampa now jumps up to P2 at a 109.6 in the Red Bull, I believe. ABR Burap's having to take the night off, so yes, that is the other Red Bull who gets out of the way of the Renault behind him. I believe that is not y'all. Yes, it is. That is not y'all. So qualifying, usually not the most exciting thing to watch. It's really just watching the lap time chart and trying to find somebody who's on a quick one. Ooh, gets a little bit of dirt on the exit there. These guys really don't hold back at all. And Not Y'all's going to jump up to P2. Okay, Not Y'all, buddy, you're not allowed to do that. You can't just jump off into the pit exit to end your lap there. Stewards may take a dim view of that later. Let's see, who else is possibly on a hot lap right now? Phantom just really out there running laps right now. He is running 110.6, which is decent ways off of his teammate in the same car, about 1.6 seconds. Slowest man out there at the moment is Sergeant Milk. He's in the pit lane actually right now at a 112.0. Broken Reptile invalidated his lap. I think he may have cut the final chicane, so he'll be looking to come back around, try again. Ginger Horizon on a lap here in the second of the Ferraris. This guy's been towards the top of every race. He's leading the championship, I believe. Gets a real big slide on there through the chicane to start the second sector. Goes purple sector 1 for the moment, though. Can he challenge Taylor for the top spot early on here? Oh, and he invalidates it. Oh, that's not what you want to do. He's going to get maybe 1, maybe 2 more cracks at it before it is all said and done. He abandons that lap, maybe wants to ride the brake a little bit down the straightaway and try to build up a little bit of battery. As Ritzy Raccoon, I believe, jumped up to P13 there in the Williams. So a little difficult to say who has got anything to worry about at this stage, as it looks like Ginger is going to go for another lap, probably a much more conservative lap. Again, this is just about getting through, not making yourself the hero right now. That comes later on. Currently still to set a time. Broken Reptile, Ginger Horizon, Zaizu, MX, SF1 Rhodes, BRL Exia, and Mean Fern. All of which, except for Reptile and Sergeant, except for Broken Reptile, are out there on laps. And I believe that was Exia setting a lap. He jumps up to P8. In the McLaren at a 110.4. Looks like the first guy to complete a lap of these 3 is going to be SF1 Rhodes. He's out there on a hot lap. He had to get invited back into the session. Wives retires from the session with a 109.9 dead, so he feels that's safe. I think if you can get anywhere below a 110, as number 1 Fin Fan has retired from the session. What has happened here? Has it all come? It has all come unglued. Oh no! Oh no! As SF1 Rhodes now jumps up to P13. That's going to put Fin Fan on the bubble. Bosco, he retires from the session. He feels pretty safe. It shows FinFan's time as a 110.6. Huh. That shows him a good few spots below where he ought to be. That's interesting. Not sure what that's about. Game being glitchy as usual. Anyway, we're going to look at Ginger here. He is invalidated another lap. Oh my goodness. Ginger just struggling right now, it looks like. Riding along with Mean Fern in the Renault here. He is the current last place driver and locks up really big into the hairpin there. It's going to affect his lap time. Can he get a lap together and get out of the bottom 5? Off the final corner, down towards the start-finish line. What is the Renault going to be capable of? It is a 110.669. That's going to put him into P11 at the moment. So good effort there. And it looks like things are somewhat self-correcting, I think, with FinFan's position, but he will obviously not be allowed to partake in that next session, so I think it's put him down there just because he has DNF'd. He's got, I believe, 3 more cars that have to get knocked down the order to get knocked out of the session, I think, which at the moment, Broken Reptile and Ginger's in the pits, so he's going to make one last effort. Now, Broken Reptile looks to be on a lap. Is he still good? Yes, he is. He has got approximately 5 minutes left to set a time, so does Ginger Horizon. This is where it's all going to start to heat up a little bit, folks. Now everybody's done playing games with each other. They are ready to go at it and see who is going to be eliminated. This is one of the more tense moments in qualifying. As Not Y'all retires from the session from P2. Feeling pretty confident in that Renault. Alright, so down to the final chicane. Here is Broken Reptile in the Alfa Romeo. A little bit of a twitch there towards the wall of champions there. On the exit, nothing really too bad. He's going to go to a 110.723. It actually ties Zaizu's time, who's actually on an outlap now. I believe he's on a fresh set of tires, trying to improve that time just a little bit. DRC Jared retires from the session with a 109.88. Feels that's safe, probably right. So has Brown Threener. Only guy out of the top 7 still active is SSR Zampa. Not really sure. He's sitting in the pits, so he probably feels pretty safe. He's probably just going to let the timer run out. As it looks like Ginger is actually on an outlap here. Nope, yeah, Ginger actually just got in front of... oh, Ginger going back into the pits. That's interesting. So we're going to ride on board with Zaizu here in P13. Just a moment. See if he can improve his time a little bit and make himself a little bit more secure. Not the greatest position to be sitting in right now. His teammate's a little bit quicker and out of the session. Oh, abandons that lap. Going to take another crack at it the next time around. Got to keep it nice and quiet, nice and tidy. Apparently Ginger's out there drifting from what Taylor Clan has told me from the chat there. Ooh, somebody just jumped up. Not sure who that was that just jumped up a good bit of positions there. It may have been Unknown Ute, actually, in the Haas, jumping up to P9. So both the Haas's looking very good right now in P5 and P9. Both looking pretty secure to go through at the moment. We'll see what that how that changes here in the last couple of minutes of qualifying. The top 7 guys feeling very secure, all at or below a 110.0. That seems to be the time you need to feel safe around here in this session. Everybody else behind them, though, very close. 110.3, 0.3, 0.4, 0.4, 0.6, 0.7, 0.7. FinFan's actually got a 0.697, so he should actually be slotted into P13. Which puts his teammate, actually, the guy in danger of getting knocked out. Zaizu going to come in, do a 1-lap gas to try and get back a little higher up the order. His teammate kind of stuck with what he's got. He's only got 2 cars, which are both tied on a 110.7 to try and keep himself in it. And one of those guys that's going to get by them, I would think, is, you got to think that both the Ferraris are going to actually jump up quite a bit. Sergeant Milk's still sitting on that 112.0, and his teammates yet to set a time. These guys are playing it a little bit dangerous here at Maranello. Like Sergeant Milk did improve his time up to a 110.5. Right there, that was the end of his lap we were seeing. His teammate, however, I believe is on a hot lap. And he is unknown Ute, retires from the session in P9. Feels that 110.3 is all he can get. SSR Zampa now retires from the session in the Red Bull garage. What can Ginger Horizon do? Can he keep the lap together, keep it clean? This is where he invalidated last time coming up to this corner. Hopefully he backs off a little bit. It ain't about who's quickest, it's about who's there. As Zaizu now drops down into the drop zone in P16 behind his teammate. I believe Broken Reptile will get the deference on the time, even though they have time. They have tied times because he did set the lap first. Is Ginger going to get a little bit of a tow from Milk? No, he's not. Mean Fern now retires from the session, so the top 9 all choosing to sit on the times they've got. Ginger Horizon coming through the final chicane. Nice tidy lap. Finally is going to get a time on the board here. And he is going to jump up to P13 only. Wow. Okay, so now the order is correct. So, number 1 FinFan, the last guy on the bubble here in P15, he will not be able to participate in the next session either way. Hoping his teammate, I'm hoping personally his teammate can get in front of him. Won't take much. They're very close on time. I think anybody else behind him is going to have a very tough time of making that happen. So we're going to hop on board with Zaizu as he comes through the first sector. Gets very close to the wall there. That is about as close as you want. Couldn't put a piece of copy paper between him and the wall. Rides the curb a little bit there on the left-hander. Nice smooth exit onto the back straightaway. DRS open. Up towards this very tricky chicane. You got to take it so easy through here. You can chuck the car in, but you got to do it in a controlled manner. He's going to come up on the back of Ginger Horizon here. Hopefully Ginger gets out of the way for the hairpin. He does. Nice smooth braking. Runs a little bit deep into the hairpin. That's going to cost him some time. Runs nice right out to the wall there. So at least he carried a little bit of speed through the corner. The DRS zone. This is all to play for right now. This is where it counts. Like I said, I think this guy stands the best chance of any of the guys in the bottom 5 to get out of there. Off the final corner, what can he do up to the line? I think he's going to do it. It's going to be a 1:9.99 up to P7, so Zaizu lives to fight another day, but at the expense of his teammate who was already out of the session due to a crash anyway. Now looking down at Broken Reptile, who is coming up the back straightaway. He is going to be the next car to complete a time, I believe. Off the final corner, what can the Alfa Romeo do? It's not going to be enough. Only P14, but he still gets through. So Ginger Horizon actually gets knocked out in the Ferrari in Q1. Wow. Unbelievable. So eliminated in Q1, Ginger Horizon, number 1 FinFan, SF1 Rhodes, ARS Sights, and Ritzy Raccoon 083 rounding out the field in the Williams. 111.2, fastest man in the session, retired early on, only set the 1 lap at a 109.013. Taylor Clan a half second, or actually 6/10, two-thirds of a second clear of everybody else. Checking in on the new boy right now, DRC Jared actually maintains that P5 in the Haas. So maybe that can turn his team's fortunes around a little bit. And SSR Joe with a 5-place grid penalty in the other Williams. He got up to P10, so he'll start a little bit farther down than he qualifies. Also, Ritzy Raccoon with a 5-second time penalty there. So I think the Williams cars may have hit each other, actually. Okay. So the gap from first to second, quite a bit. After that, the next pretty much 7 to 9 cars are covered by just about 4/10. So Taylor looking very comfortable right now. We'll see a little bit more in Q2 and Q3 what he has actually got in the bag performance-wise, because obviously, again, Q1 just about survival. All right, so here we go. Sun looks to be out a little bit more in this session. And it looks like the first car out on the track is going to be one of the Red Bulls. I believe that is Wives going out first, followed by one of the Renaults. And then the Mercedes of BRL Phantom, I believe. Close behind them, the Racing Point of Zaizu, followed by the other Red Bull of Zampa. Oh, and the Alpha Tauri cuts off the one remaining Ferrari of Sergeant Milk. Man, I don't know if we got that performance update yet, but the Ferraris look to be hurting right now. Fighting for track position at the moment on the way out, trying to get themselves sorted out in an order that's going to work out a little bit better. You usually want to have the faster cars either way ahead or way behind, because they will gain a lot of time on some of the slower cars as the lap goes on. So you don't want to be too close to somebody who's, say for instance, if you're Taylor in the Mercedes, you don't want to be too close to somebody in a slower car that maybe isn't the quickest driver. Well, maybe not. They're not Ryan, let's say. So somebody like Exia or Joe or Broken Reptile, guys like that, you see typically towards the middle to back part of the field in this series, due to the fact they're in usually slower cars. And whoa, what have we got here? What was that all about? Milk just completely cut off. I think that was Zampa. Yeah, just completely cut him off at the chicane. So a bit of antics going on. Not sure what that was all about. And now looks like Zampa's retired from the session. So did we have more contact there? Because he's got a wheel off, or did he just lose it on his own? I looked away for a second, looked back up, and yeah, man's in the fence. So we got a yellow flag through Sector 1, as looks like Zampa's car has now been cleared. A lot of guys on slow laps right now. As Wives sets the fast lap of the session so far, and then Taylor immediately with another 109.0. So backing up that time he did in Q1, I believe that is actual pace for him right now. Not y'all, about a second off on the medium though. That is going to be crucial. The tire strategy around here, you've got 3 options that you can use. Get the best time out. Depends upon your driving ability, your car, and overall track position. The yellow flag in Sector 1, Sector 2 for Not Y'all running slowly there on a cool-down lap. Wants to get out of the way of the McLaren behind. I believe that is Boss Cookie. Yes, it is. So he gets out of the way. Boss Cookie's going to go by on the left-hand side. And Wives on that soft tire, currently bottom of the 4 that have set a time. 2 cars in front of him on mediums, though. So Zaizu and Not Y'all both opting for the medium tire. As you can see there, yellow sidewalls. Only other person opting for the medium at the moment, at least, has not even left the pits, and that is Brown Threener in the Alpha Tauri. Okay, so currently only 5 cars have set a time. SSR Joe jumps up to P4, the 110.9. Again, still carrying that 5-place grid penalty for the contact, I believe, with his teammate towards the end of the session. So that will not be doing either one of them any favors. Really, these guys are the two that don't need to be shooting themselves in the foot. As now it looks like Mean Fern, also on the medium, jumps up just behind his teammate and Zaizu. BRL Phantom on the medium. In the Mercedes, actually, just behind him. Phantom still struggling to get the best out of that car at the moment. But still, currently sitting P5 on the mediums to start the race. Not too shabby, if you don't say so. So several guys out there on hot laps. We're going to hop on board with Boss Cookie for just a minute. He actually has invalidated his previous lap, so he'll be looking to make another one here. We'll revisit that in just a minute with him. Behind him, Broken Reptile on an outlap, DRC Jared in the pits, Sergeant Milk looking to set his first time, backed way off after the incident with Zampa. Not totally sure, again, still, what happened there between those two at the chicane, but it looks like Milk just came up on Zampa. I don't know how he didn't see him, because that straightaway's longer than Christmas. Riding a lot of the curbs through there. Not really the most effective way to get through the corner, riding over the curbs there at the chicane. Boss Cookie coming down to the hairpin, sets what appears to be a purple sector 2, probably just the game telling him to set a finally set a lap time. Boss Cookie comes up to that final chicane. Oh, clouts the wall hard on exit. But still goes up to P2 there in the McLaren, using the wall a little bit on exit to, I don't know if he was trying to gain a little bit of time there, or if that was just incidental. More than likely just incidental, because it's very easy to do if you catch the curbs a little bit too much. Damage the car nonetheless, so I doubt that was intentional. Very risky to try and do that. Not to mention, it usually doesn't gain you much of anything. So, looking back down the order, Sergeant Milk already has 4 laps on those tires. Remember, the time you set your the tire you set your fastest lap on in this session, if you are inside of the top 10, you do have to start on that tire in the race session. So you do not want to put a ton of laps on a soft tire or even a medium tire. So, looking down, bottom 5, SSR Zampa out of the session. He's going to start P15. Looks like Unknown Mute going out in the first of the Haas's. His teammate still sitting in the pits. Got about 6.5 minutes. Is Jared just going to wait until the last minute? Throw down 1 lap and see what happens? Interesting strategy, if it is what he's going to do. Unknown You going out on the soft tire, maybe looking to take advantage of the fact that some of the guys in front that are on the mediums might not have the pace. If you can really drag it around here, I think you can maybe squeeze a high 9 out of that Haas. I don't know. I haven't driven it that much. But it could be possible. Cody's lovely camera work there, just staring off at the trees instead of following the car. Come on, guys, get it together. That's ridiculous. Looks like he's the only car out on track aside from, looks like Wives might be leaving the pits. I believe he is. He is, in fact, leaving the pits. So he's actually done 4 laps on those softs, so looking to improve quite a bit. He may have just been trying to rubber it in the track and get a little bit of a feel for what the track conditions were like and go out on a different tire. Let's see what he's on here. He is on another set of the softs, so fresh tire, maybe looking to just improve a little bit, make himself a little bit safer. This midfield area is very tight, so it would be very easy to get knocked out in this session if you're not on the right tire at the right time. So a little bit of clarification on that incident. All right, looking here at Unknown Ute, coming down to finish his lap here in the Haas, come through the final corner. He is going to go up to P8, just in front of BRL Phantom. So he does get in front of one car that's on the mediums, so that bodes well for him if he can make it through Q3. Looks like the only other guys out there right now. Wives on a fast lap. Looks like he's about a half second up on that time he's got right now. That would move him, if he were able to maintain that, up to P3 or 4. So that would make him a little bit more safe at the end of the session. Getting around Broken Reptile. Not y'all retires from P4 there. Wives actually jumps up, improves even more to P2. So closest man to the Mercedes out front. Runs a very awkward line through there. Alright, so Broken Reptile is on a hot lap in the Alfa Romeo, coming up to the hairpin here. Runs of a nice little tidy line through there, no whiff of a lockup onto the back straightaway. And once he do off the final corner here, up towards start-finish line, he is going to do a 110.4. That's going to put him up to P4, doing a very good job in the Alpha. Not exactly the quickest car, but then again, these cars are all a lot closer together than they used to be, pace and performance-wise, as far as the machinery. We're not seeing the 3 to 4 second gap from the top to the bottom. It's more like 2.5 seconds at worst, most of the time. Currently looking at Sergeant Milk out there on an outlap on. Looks like another set of soft tires. Yes, it is. He's behind DRC Jared in the Haas. So you got to think, yeah, Jared's going to let him by, even though they're both on outlaps, because Jared's in a slower car. Milk, if he can extract the performance from the car like he should, really should be able to pull away from Jared quite easily, considering the performance difference in the cars. But then again, maybe if that performance update has finally hit, these cars are really not going to be that different in performance. Because the Haas is not that much worse off than the Ferrari at some places. And looks like Milk's gonna. They can't seem to make up their mind who's gonna be in front and who's gonna be behind. A little bit of gamesmanship going on right there. There's currently still only 2 drivers without a time. That is DRC Jared, who we're watching right now, get a little bit of heat into those mediums. He's actually going for the mediums, interestingly enough. Would have thought he would have gone for the softs, but maybe he thinks he can get into Q3 on the mediums. If he can, props to him. Oh, very slidey out of the final corner. That was messy, but he held it together. So props to him for that. Not a lot of grip on these medium tires compared to the soft, so very easy to overdo it. It's almost better to underdrive the car for the entire lap just a little bit than trying to push everything. Taking a lot of curb right there. A little snap of oversteer on the exit. Pretty good looking lap right now. Does a 1966 in the first sector. I'm not sure where that's going to put him in comparison to the rest of the field. But we will see here in about 40 seconds time what he can do here. Comes through there's so many chicanes around here. Comes on to the second back straightaway towards the hairpin at turn 10. Nice and tidy. Little bit of a lockup on the inside as he turns in right there. Unknown Ute retires his teammate from P7. Thinks he's safe at a 110.4. Thinks he can't really get much else out of it. What can Jared get out of this Haas? If he can get in the top 10, I think he'll be happy man. A lot of guys retiring as the timer hits 0, so this is going to count towards the final order. What can Jared do up to the line? And it's going to be invalidated. Jared is going to start P14. Ooh. Things get interesting. So, the 5 drivers knocked out in this session: VRL Phantom, SSR Joe, Sergeant Milk, DRC Jared, and SSR Zampa, who neither one set a time there in P14 and P15. Going through to the final top 10 shootout: Taylor Clan 2008, VRF1 Wives, Boss Cookie, VRL Exia 1984, Not Y'all F1, Mean Fern, Broken Reptile, Unknown Ute 25, Brown Threener, and Zaizu. Capping off that top 10 on the medium: Boss Cookie, Not Y'all, Mean Fern, Threener, and Zaizu. Everybody else on the soft to start the race. So Reptile, Unknown Ute, Exia, Wives, and Taylor Clan. Taylor Clan, again, at least 3/4 of a second clear of the next car. So I don't think, even if he does have to start on those softs, he's going to be overly concerned, because he has definitely got the pace around this circuit. Speaking of which, I believe there is a new pit building there. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's the new pit structure. Made some cosmetic changes, I believe, to the existing one. Not really a whole lot of space to make things bigger around here, because the track is situated around the outskirts of the island that we are on. It's a man-made island. It was constructed mostly for the for an Olympics, for some Summer Olympics of one year or another. I don't remember exactly when. But explains the large rowing pond on the outside of the main straightaway. So, take a short little intermission, and we'll be right back for Q3. And we'll see who can garner pole at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. All right, we are back here, folks, at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for Q3. Looks like Boss Cookie going to be the early man. No, somebody else actually got out in front of him. Who is that? That is Not Y'all F1, who has been very quick, and looks like they got Taylor directly behind them in the Mercedes. So we will see who decides to take the forefront and who does not. Got to think these guys are going to just take a crack on some used softs they used in a previous session to set a banker on here, and then go for that fresh set at the end. Or maybe they, like Taylor probably does, has a brand new set of soft tires in addition to that extra set they get for Q3. Difficult to say because we don't know what their tire usage is like up here in the booth. Again, more of Cody's fantastic camera work there, staring at a barrier for 5 seconds. So it looks pretty even split. Got 6 guys going out early here, and looks like one more now finally going out. Got a little bit of clear space, another one behind him. So current order on track here, you've got... Excuse me, folks, it's been a long day. You've got, I think, Taylor Clan leading the charge here. He is, in fact. And then you've got Not Y'all and Boss Cookie trying to figure out who's going to be in front and who's going to be behind. I'm personally not a big fan of this running slowly down this massive straightaway. It's really not going to hurt your tires, and if anything, you're just losing... You're actually, I think, losing temp in a couple of things just by running that long and that slowly down that straightaway versus just keeping your foot in it. Alright, so we're going to ride along with Taylor here. He's going to be the first man to set a lap in Q3, provided he does not invalidate. Coming down the back straightaway in the Mercedes. Up to the line, what can he do? And he goes quicker than he's gone all night. So far, a 108.9 quick time. Taylor Clan 2008, followed by Not Y'all in the Renault does a 109.2. Boss Cookie in the McLaren does a 109.3, so these guys are not as far off as they have seemed in previous sessions. Mean Fern now with a 109.8, and Zaizu with a 110 dead in the Racing Point. 5 guys have set a lap. It's like Unknown Ute abandons his first flying lap. Brown Threener goes up to P5 with a 109.8. BRL Exia still on a hot lap here in P10, doing very well in that second McLaren, out-qualifying the likes of #1 FinFan, DRC Jared, and other very accomplished Tier 1 drivers. What can he do in the second McLaren up to the line? Gets down to a 110.3, so a very respectable time right there. He can be proud of that. I think he wanted a few more positions out of it, but still, he's right there, and if he can get a little bit cleaner of a lap together, I think he can pick up a couple of spots on those guys in front of him. Looks like Wibes is on a hot lap here in the Red Bull. Let's see what he can do. He's been going pretty good all night. What can this guy do? Can he turn the wick up and maybe upset that party at the front that Mercedes is having? Again, this is the car usually driven by ABR Burraps, but he is out tonight. Or actually, I believe that may be... I don't know which Red Bull is the sub tonight, but one of them's being substituted. I could be completely wrong there. I need to look at the roster a little more. So, Wibes with a 110.9, currently slowest of the 8 drivers to set a time. Broken Reptile out on an out lap here. I can't talk. Unknown Ute sitting in the pit lane, getting ready to go again, I think. Somebody is. Nope, that's one of the Renaults. As looks like Exia comes in. He's going to have to wait for his teammate to go out again, though. Costing him a little bit of time. Good thing he's still got about half the session left to go. We're going to ride along with Broken Reptile because he's going to be the only guy on a hot lap here in just a second. Looking at Not Y'all F1 right now on his second flying lap. Got to think he's going to go really hard on this one. If he invalidates, dive back into the pits and maybe go for one more run. Probably a smart strategy on his part. See if he can maybe get a little bit more out of it. It's a little bit down through Sector 1, but not by much. That you can make that up pretty easily. Pretty clean exit there into the start of Sector 2. Really just a couple of chicanes and a couple of straightaways is all it is. This is the one that's the tricky one. Over the curbs, invalidates the lap. So he will be diving back into the pit lane. Boss Cookie behind him already invalidated. Hadn't even got to that tricky corner yet. Broken Reptile invalidated his lap, it looks like, so no time on the board. Unknown Ute coming around the first set of corners. Invalidated his first lap, so he's on his second set right now. See what the Haas driver can do. The only Haas in this session with DRC Jared's surprise elimination in Q2 after invalidating his lap. Very unfortunate there for him. See what his teammate can do to salvage a decent starting spot as Taylor still sits on top of the board at a 108.9. So Not Y'all going for another lap, it looks like. Nothing really to lose except, you know, a little bit of time. Alright, so Not Y'all coming up. He's actually got Taylor directly in front of him. Taylor will want to get a move on so he doesn't give his competitor any draft down or any slipstream down the straightaway here, running a little bit offline to try and prevent that, I think. And Taylor actually goes into the pits, as does... Alright then, that was a little bit of a weird pit entry. Just kind of flung it off in there, didn't bother to brake. It's a good way to get a warning and a penalty. If you are not careful. Looks like the only guy out on a lap. Oh! We caught that on camera. Got a little bit too much oversteer. Resets to track. Bud, you ain't allowed to do that. Round 3er in the Alpha Tower there. Gotta think that's his qualifying session over. So it looks like Zaizu, Meanfern starting his final flying lap here, or final set of flying laps, depending upon what he tries to do. Coming up towards the final chicane, what can Meanfern do? Can he get himself higher than P4? Renault's currently sitting P2 and P4 right now. Not a very good lap there. We'll have to try again here at the end of the session. Boss Cookie coming up to the midpoint of his lap. Zaizu coming towards the end here. But I believe that's... that's Taylor behind him. So what can Zaizu do up to the lap? It's a 109.8. That picks him up a spot right there over Threener. Pick up a little more, he could get in front of Meanfern and put himself on the second row of the grid, but doing very well right now in P5 in that racing point. Currently P2, P4, and P5 all starting on that medium tire in the race, so that bodes very well for them. And I gotta think that's where he's going to call it, because he does not have another lap in the cards. Meanfern still cracking along on that second lap, losing a little bit of time though, down about a tenth at the end of the second sector. What can he do through the third sector? He is going to go through that final chicane. He's actually invalidated the lap, so it doesn't matter for anything. He's just running the lap to see what he can do. We get a yellow flag in sector 2. Looks like that's just somebody running slowly. Would have been about a tenth off. Not y'all on a hot lap right now. He is down on his time by about a tenth and a quarter, so that is boding well for him, but he has got P2 locked up, I believe, because Boss Cookie has invalidated his lap. Time is up in the session. Flying laps will count. This is to decide the order to start the race. What can Not Y'all do? Can he unseat the Mercedes of Taylor Clan? Hits the wall on the exit of the chicane at the Wall of Champions. And he's going to pick up to a 109.0. Taylor picked up to a 108.6, so Taylor maybe toying with everybody, never really in any danger there of losing that pole position in the Mercedes. God, that just shows how good that car is, that he just picks up 3/10 on a whim. Or seemingly on a whim, anyway. So I believe that is going to be it. Meanfern still shows to be on a lap, as does Threener's now retired from the session. So, just waiting on Meanfern. I believe is AI'd, actually. It's not showing us. Anyway, all of this should end up back in the pit lane here momentarily. And that's going to be qualifying over and done, folks. We will get back here in just a moment for the race. And this is going to be interesting. We got cars on very different tire strategies, starting very close to each other, all up and down the field. So, top 10, Taylor Clan 2008, Not Y'all F1, Boss Cookie. Wives jumps up to P4, Exia in P5, Meanfern P6, Zaizu P7, Threener P8, Broken Reptile P9, and rounding out the top 10 is Unknown Ute 25 in the Haas. All right, folks, we are back here, and the cars are setting off on their formation lap here in Canada. Take a quick look at what tires everybody is starting on. So, Looks like the guys starting on the soft tire, obviously in the top 10 they have to. Taylor Clan, Wives, Bureau, Exia, Broken Reptile, and Unknown Youth. In the top 10, Bureau Phantom electing to start on the soft tire in P11. That's a curious strategy. As well as SSR Zampa and Ginger Horizon farther down the field in the Red Bull and Ferrari cars in P14 and 15. Starting on the medium tires, you have Not Y'all F1, Boss Cookie, Mean Fern, Zaizu, Brown Threener, Broken Reptile. Never mind, Broken Reptile's on the soft. Never mind, sorry. Sergeant Milk for DRC Jared in P13 there. And you have SSR Joe, SF1 Rhodes, ARS Science, and Ritzy Raccoon all on the medium tire as well. And then the only man starting on the hard tire deciding, hey, I got nothing to lose, I'm back here, is number one Finn fan, not having the best qualifying sessions, maybe making to make up for that with a different strategy in the race. Only man on the hard tire, he's going to be hoping we don't get an early safety car, as it looks like Ginger Horizon has spun around or something of that nature here at the chicane, so he'll have to maintain his position at the rear of the pack as they come up to the grid. Okay, the cars are in position here. We are just waiting on everybody's game to sync up. There we go. Now we're ready to go. So we have the usual jumping around of the order. We have 5 red lights. And away we go. A little bit of a jump there for Boss Cookie due to the game. He'll have to give that up more than likely. Oh, some contact there with Taylor Clan. No damage to either one of them. Not sure if Boss Cookie's lights went out. Oh, we got contact there with Not Y'all and Taylor Clan. That's going to lose them both out. I think at least one spot. Nope, only going to lose a spot. 2. Waiting for everything to sort out. 2 Wives there. Ginger Horizon has left the session, so he is no longer in the race lobby. Somebody will get him back in here. I believe we got Hero Neymar in that capacity in the lobby. So thank you to him for making sure we have everybody trying to stay in here and get everything sorted out. Ginger not having the best of nights so far. So it looks like the biggest loser on the first lap, BRL Phantom dropping 5 spots down to P18. Biggest gainer, Ritzy Raccoon, up from P20 to P14 as Boss Cookie out front sets the fastest lap of the race on the first lap, obviously, at a 1:18.3. Wives now picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's only lap 2. Man's already got a time penalty. It's only lap 2. Very easy to pick up penalties around this track with all the chicanes. We got a lot of guys in the pits. Looks like BRL Phantom. Oh, what do we got here? We got somebody. I think that might have been Rhodes. Or possibly Finn Fan. Yeah, he's dropping like a stone. Has he got damage? Or is that just the nature of the hard tire around here? Trying to maybe push a little bit too hard on that tire. Oh, gets in the back of SSR Joe a bit there. No harm, no foul, I don't think. An off-board shot. Joe's got some wing damage there on the Williams, so that will be hampering his efforts. Boss Cookie now sets a time as Sergeant Milk gets time to live a fast lap of 1:12. Anyway, getting back to these guys, Phantom, ASR Science, DRC Jared, Ginger Horizon, and SSR Zampa running back here in a pack of about 4 or 5 cars. not having the best of starts. Jared going on to the hard tire. Meanwhile, back up at the front, still don't have the gaps. It's just not deciding to give me those. Boss Cookie's pulled out to a bit of a lead here on Taylor Clan and Not Y'all. Again, he may have gotten a jump start due to the game, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure, as he now picks up a 3-second time to live the corner cutting. Not sure what will be done about that, because I definitely think I saw him move before everybody else did. Matter of fact, let's actually just go check the race director and see. Don't think anybody's got. Yeah, he didn't get a drive-through for jumping the start, so I think he's clean on the games count. But compared to everybody else and still having the lead over Taylor Clan, I think that might be a bit questionable. We'll see that sort itself out later after the fact. Moving right along, we're going to check that as now we're starting to get the intervals back. We're going to check the biggest mover of the race one more time as I find the correct setting. Biggest mover up, currently now up 7 positions, is Ritzy Raccoon in the Williams. Biggest loser still is, actually it's SSR Zampa now. He's down 6 positions in the Red Bull, running dead stone last for that first lap pit stop. Looking down here at P6 and P7, Zaizu all over the back of round 3. And Freeman looks like he's got some wing damage actually there on the edge of that Alpha Tauri. He does in fact, so can Zaizu on that medium tire do something about him? I think they're actually, are they both on the mediums? Yes, they are. Only guy, Zaizu gets a 3-second time penalty there as looks like Meanfern missed the chicane. And they're all going to go right around him. Virtual safety cars out, actually. What have we got going on here? Who has lost control back here? I don't see any reason for that to be out, so that's curious. As looks like Phantom's actually going to jump into the pits here. Is he going to go to the hard and try to go to the end? I think... No, he's going for another set of the mediums, interestingly enough, and a wing change, so not sure what the deal is there, but obviously got some wing damage. We're back under green, and looks like, ooh, Rhodes around. That's going to bottle up the 2 Williams in front of FinFan. If I was able to communicate with him, I'd be telling him to back off, just pick these guys off one at a time because they're both on the medium tire. We'll get by them shortly. FinFan, not exactly the biggest fan of the circuit here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. As Zampa also pits, puts on the soft tire, I believe. And this is actually going to make it very difficult for FinFan to get by, as actually he goes for a little bit of a look there on one of the Williams. That is going to be Ritzy he's making a look on. The fact they're bunched up like that actually makes it difficult because he doesn't get the full effect of DRS on that car directly in front of him. Now he's going to go for the inside move, going to get that completed, maybe a little bit of a touch here and there. He's going to have the outside, going to get the drive. I mean, this right here is not benefiting anybody for them to do that. But now that kind of breaks up the 2 cars in front, and sometimes that's what you got to do. You almost have to break up the 2 guys in front of you a little bit to get them apart, so you can make an overtake and then hopefully chase down that second one, as Joe gets very sideways there out of the chicane. Looking back here, FinFan not going to try anything there. Probably not the brightest place to try it anyway. Should be able to get that done, as looks like Mean Fern and Zaizu trading places, as well as Unknown Ute and Sergeant Milk here. Looking back down here at the 2 Williams cars, as Milk going very slowly gets passed by Broken Reptile as well. Ritzy does not have DRS this time. Gotta think that FinFan will just have an easy move there. runs a little bit over the curb and kind of jams the Williams up behind him, but he's through nonetheless and still got DRS to help him scoot away and keep that position down the front straightaway. Now he needs to set off after the other Williams and not get bottled up behind somebody coming out of the pits possibly, which he does not. So FinFan maybe licking the stamp a little too hard right there before he sent it into the chicane on the Williams of Ritzy Raccoon, losing a lot of momentum and really allowing the car in front to get away just a little bit. He's over 2 seconds behind. Still only got about a half-second gap back to the car behind him, so Ritzy doing a good job to stay in his DRS. Looking around at other places in the field, you've got Wibes about 8/10 down on Not Y'all. Boss Cookie out to about a 3-second lead on Taylor Clan, who's got about a 4-second lead on this bunch. So currently Boss Cookie in a very good position right now, as looks like Brown Threener hits the pit lane in the Alpha Tauri from the medium tire, interestingly enough. Gotta wonder if he's got damage. We'll see in just a second. He does in fact have damage. He's got that damage still, actually. Earlier, as FinFan picks up a 3-second time penalty. We got a yellow flag down towards the hairpin. I believe that might be Sergeant Milk, possibly dropping down the order. Another virtual safety car as Ginger Horizon retires from the session. Did he retire on the pit lane, or was he on the circuit? Because I'm not sure. Phantom's going to come down here and show us. It looks like he actually he's on the circuit. I think he might have hit something. A very unfortunate end to his night. Not had the best of nights at all in that red Ferrari. Guy who is having a good night right now, though, is Boss Cookie out in the lead of the race. Taylor Clan, man, I gotta think he should have probably taken that opportunity to dive into the pit lane. Two-stop strategy option is open here. Not gonna see a whole lot of guys, I think, opt for that. DRC Jared gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Give it to Taylor. He is still maintaining a pretty good gap, and he will get an undercut because he is going to have to pit sooner than Boss Cookie. So I think if when he goes to that hard tire, he should get a pretty decent little undercut and get a lot closer. And then I think it's just down to the performance of the cars, which that's a very nice thing about this whole situation. Is you've got guys who maybe don't have the same skill level able to race each other and really race each other due to the difference in performance in the cars. Looking back a little farther here. Again, sorry about the yawning, folks. Wibes not too far off the back of Not Y'all, just about 1.3 seconds now, 1.2 seconds. So not going to have DRS this time, and Mean Fern not too far behind, and Zaizu as well. So 4 cars pretty much line astern, able to see each other. If they can get a little bit closer, we can get a little bit of action going on around here. But we will see as Mean Fern picks up a 3-second time penalty there at the final chicane. And not to count Eggsy out of that bunch as well. You can still see these guys in front of him, but he's having a lonely old race there in P7. Currently on the soft tire, so he will be one of the first drivers to pit on that tire that is still running it. Looking back behind them, SSR Joe still is in front of number 1 FinFan. FinFan, again, not enjoying the circuit. I don't know how much Joe enjoys the circuit, but I would say from how he's doing in that Williams, probably enjoys it quite a bit. As Threener now picks up a 3-second time penalty, as well as Sergeant Milk. Those are both cars running a little bit towards the back half of the field. Threener's actually running in P11, actually, now that I see that. Not too far behind SF1 Rhodes, as Exia now picks up a 3-second time penalty in P7. Not going to really affect too much, because he's kind of just running by himself at the moment. Got about a 3-4 second gap in front and about an 8-second gap behind, so not too big a worry for him right now, but obviously you don't want to pick up a ton of those penalties. And speaking of which, he now does dive into the pits. He and Wibes diving into the pit on the end of lap number 10. Bosco gets another 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And on, I believe, go the medium tire. So is BRL Exia going to go for that two-stop strategy here? We will see. Looks like Wives opted for the same thing, so he opted for the medium. He's come out just behind FinFan, who's ahead. FinFan's got to be on a one-stop here. Locks up a little bit there into turn 4. Or 3 and 4, actually. Again into turn... I believe that's turn 6. And now Wives in a much better car and with much fresher tires, already closing all up on the back of that Racing Point, should be able to get by him pretty easily. Got to think that FinFan would see sense to let him by down the straightaway. They're on different tire strategies anyway. Mind you, I think FinFan may have... does he have DRS? I don't think he's going to have... He's not going to have DRS. Wives is going to have DRS on him, so as they come down the straightaway, FinFan's going to pull the inside. Wives is going to go to the racing line, and that is move done. Wives. Not sure if that was him letting... That was FinFan letting him by, but a very smart move either way, just to not contest that too much. As now he actually runs deep into turn 1 and recovers it nicely. Doesn't lose too much time. He's really struggling to just get into the corner on that hard tire. So maybe that shows a little bit of what's to come. Ritzy Raccoon behind him, actually well down the field now after he pitted, in 17th place, picks up a 3-second time penalty. Tommy need coffee. Wives now closing back up onto the rear of SSR Joe. That is for P6 on the circuit right now. Again, going to be a very quickly dispatched move from the Red Bull on much fresher tires and with a much faster car. Kind of drawing FinFan along with him. FinFan actually sticking a nose in there on the exit. That's interesting. Maybe Wives didn't exactly have the best corner there at the hairpin of turn 10. Now he's going to have a big run down the back straightaway. Not going to be close enough to think about a move, I don't think, into the final chicane. But Elwes, FinFan runs off the circuit. Has to lift quite a bit, and that's going to actually probably hurt him a little bit as Wives goes the long way around, or tries to on Joe. That's going to make Joe fall right back towards FinFan. If FinFan made that corner, he probably could have been right on the back of the Williams, but he will get there eventually, I think. Taylor Clan, in the meantime, has actually pitted as well, just ahead of these two. He is now in P5 on a brand new set of mediums, so he will be trying to maximize those while they are fresh to try and catch up to and get in front of Boss Cookie. So, now the chess match is going to begin between these two. Who can work this stage of the race better? As now Zaizu dives into the pits at the end of lap number 13. He is going to go to the hard tire more than likely. No, he's going to go for a... Yeah, he does go for the hard tire. So, or no, that's the medium tire. So Zaizu doing a two-stop strategy for the Racing Point. Not so sure that's the advised strategy. His teammate now jumps up in front of him. He'll probably get that back on the pit exit, though they're actually going to be very close. Number 1 rules, boys. Don't pitch your teammate. Gotta think FinFan will let him by since his teammate's on much fresher tires. As Exia is actually closing up on the back of this pack just a little bit. BRL Phantom picking up a 3-second time penalty in P18. And SSR Zampa also down there in P19, not having the best of nights. Now Ritzy Raccoon picks again and drops to P19. And just behind Exia is... is Brown Threener, who is on a soft tire, oddly enough. And looks like Zaizu is going to go for a move here on his teammate. Not going to be very much contested there. That was probably orchestrated between the two of them. And now he's right up on the back of the Williams of SSR Joe. Taylor Clan resets the fast lap at a 1:11.879. And here goes Zaizu looking on Joe. I think he's looking the wrong side of the racetrack right there. Undoubtedly will get him this lap, I think, provided nothing else happens. We got a yellow flag in Sector 3. Sergeant Milk retires from the session. I believe that is on track. We have another virtual safety car. And yeah, Milk hit the exit of the Wall of Champions a ton, so now both Ferraris out of the race in this very, very abysmal weekend for that team. Not a good weekend to be wearing red. Pretty good weekend to be wearing orange and yellow, though, because Not Y'all's in P5, having just pitted on a set of soft tires, oddly enough, so I guess he's going for the two-stop as well. And his teammate running in P2, about 15 seconds behind race leader Boss Cookie in the McLaren, who is just absolutely walking away with this one right now from the looks of things. Only man that can really put a stop to that, I think, is Taylor Clan in the Mercedes. Oh, we got some action going on around here. P7. Zaizu picks up P6 from Joe. Exia is going to get around FinFan as well. Exia on 5-lap-old hards compared to FinFan's 5-lap-old mediums compared to FinFan's 15-lap-old hards. You got to imagine that was a pretty easily executed move. But I believe Exia will have to stop again. I'm not sure what tire he started up the race on, but so he definitely has one more stop coming, as does FinFan. And that'll put them on equal terms, I think, or more or less equal terms in terms of tires. FinFan is still locking up a lot. Oh, he gets very sideways, and that's, oh, he's spun the car. And he spun the car. Your manager looks disappointed. Anyway, moving right along, so Zaizu already putting a huge gap on Joe. In just one lap, pulls 2 seconds on him, so that just shows you what new tires and clear air can do for you. Just ahead of him, by about 2 seconds, is VRF1 Wibes, who is on 3-lap older medium tires, so Zaizu should have a slight performance advantage, even though the Red Bull is a much better car. Should be able to reel him in a little bit here through some of the twistier sections. About 2 seconds in front of him is Not Y'all. Not Y'all's on that soft compound tire, so he will have to stop again. Taylor still closing down the gap. He's only about 17 seconds, make that about 16.5 seconds behind Boss Cookie. Boss Cookie obviously going for the one-stop strategy, trying to split the race in half just about, I think. Going for another lap here. Mean Fern behind, also doing the same thing. And we have some rain coming in. Ooh. And that changes everything. As FinFan now trying to defend from ARS Science, going deep at the hairpin. Looking to do a cutback, not quite going to happen. Science giving him a little bit of room there on the exit, not a ton. He is going to have DRS down the straightaway unless it's been disabled. No, Science actually has the DRS. I think that's not too A1 of the game there. But he was ahead going into the corner, so I guess that's all fair. So this is going to really start to test these guys a little bit on these slick tires. Guys like Not Y'all on the soft will have a huge advantage for a little while when things start to slick up, just due to the tires. Mean Fern has now gotten passed by Taylor Clan, who I think has all the work to do now, because Boss Cookie has managed to eke it out for 17 laps on these mediums. Taylor's closing in quite a bit already on Boss Cookie, but I think it's all for naught. Already pulled down about a second on Boss Cookie this lap. So the rain starting to fall a little bit harder, not ready to start as Boss Cookie actually comes in. He says he's had enough. Goes to the soft tire, waiting for that rain to pick up a little bit more. Just couldn't hold out any longer. Probably was in danger of a puncture, which would mean Mean Fern's also in danger of a puncture. He's going to get that spot back pretty quickly here, I think, because he's come out right behind the Renault, and there's about 20 laps of difference in their tires right now. Taylor Clan about 4.5, 5 seconds up the road. Tires are nice and warm on his car, so no real danger of losing the grip on those mediums at this point in time, as Boss Cookie now does get the move done on Mean Fern. So Cookie tried, almost made it work, but no such luck. Some of these other guys towards the back trying to stretch this out and get onto the intermediate tire before they have a puncture on the medium. Or get onto the intermediate instead of, I guess I said that, I don't know. Really having to work it a little bit. The two guys on the hards, not really having to worry about that too much. DRC Jared, number one FinFan, really just a lack of grip is what they have to be concerned with, not punctures. Cookie, now up into second place on those softs, is closing down a little bit as you would expect on Taylor Clan. Really pushing to try and catch up a little bit before they have to switch over. Zaizu has now caught up to Wives, so as predicted, that 3-lap difference in their tires making a really big difference right now. And they're actually closing down quite a bit on Not Y'all for P4 in front of them. He's only 4 seconds up the road. We got a yellow flag down here. It looks like that is ARS Sides who has spun out. FinFan goes by. Rhodes goes by. Jared goes by. Loses 3 spots from that, and that's not going to do those worn mediums any favors at all. These guys just need to kind of be careful, eke it out, and not make any silly mistakes. As FinFan, speaking of making silly mistakes, runs wide, gives up the position to Rhodes. Just what are you doing, son? Yellow flag in Sector 3, it looks like, as I think that's BRL Phantom. BRL Phantom backwards against the pit wall. Car still functioning. Gets it righted. Now running last and a lap down to his teammate here as he tries to get out of the way. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Looks like that is Brown Threener who has gone around. And the pack goes by him as number one FinFan looking to get back in front of F1 Rhodes. Does so here, it looks like. And that's going to open the door for Jared to get by as well, possibly. And he does. So the two guys in the hards now at the front of this pack. Got a yellow flag in Sector 3 there, as looks like Sainz has spun as well again. The Alpha Tower is not having a very good time of things right now. Looks like got a big pack right here coming on at the straightaway. Jared looks like if we still got Joe 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Jared's going to have the DRS on FinFan. He's going to go by him on the DRS straight, or is he? Oh, a little bit of contact there. What was that all about? I think somebody lost an end plate. I'm not sure who. Wasn't Jared, as we got a virtual safety car right here, so that's going to help these guys that just dumped into the pits, and they're going on to the intermediates. That's going to make everybody else just run slower. Number one FinFan, I believe, he did get that wing repaired, so that'll help him out. Virtual safety car still out. He is going to stay just over, I think, just on the lead lap barely, as failure plan on that medium tire is still out there. I'm surprised he didn't dive into the pits and get off that tire. Along with a few other guys. We got 2 guys actually that opted for the intermediate. That is SF1 Roads and number 1 Fin Fan deciding that, hey, the slicks are no longer the way to go. DRS enabled again. I really think that they should. I'm pretty sure in real life, once somebody has an intermediate or wet tire on, that you are not allowed to use DRS, as FinFan runs deep there at one of the chicanes at turn 8 and 9. So maybe not quite ready for it, but maybe taking an advantageous moment to gain a little bit of time. As it looks like maybe the rain, no, there it is. It's just very, very light on that zoomed in camera shot. A lot of these guys really struggling for grip in these conditions. Very greasy, very slick. Not a whole lot of grip out there at the moment. Try and find the closest guys out there. Looks like that is going to be, I believe, Not Y'all to Exia and Mean Fern behind him. So the 2 Renaults and the second of the McLarens. This is a very interesting race we got going on right here. As you can see, everybody's sliding around, just searching for grip. Unknown Mute getting by. Broken Reptiles in the pits. He's going to go for the medium tire, oddly enough. So maybe he thinks this rain's going to lighten up and he's going to be able to go to the end on that tire. We'll see. We got a yellow flag in Sector 2. Who is that around? That is, I believe... I can't tell who that is. Somebody was around back there. As looks like Not Y'all going for a move on Exia there. Zaizu's actually gotten around Mean Fern, I believe. I love that rearward camera shot. Really shows what's going on, and it's a terrible camera. Anyway, so SF1 Roads on that intermediate tire. Not really getting any time. DRC Jared now goes to the intermediate tire in P15. Comes out in P15. So just deciding there's nothing to lose really here. As looks like we got one of the Alpha Tauris and Brown 3 around right there. There he is. Ghosted out in the middle of the track. DRS is now disabled, so Jared waited to the exact right moment. He's right on the back of FinFan again, who's now got 2 laps more on those tires, which that's going to be a pretty significant thing on the intermediate tires, having those extra 2 laps. Got to think he'll be able to get by him pretty easily once it gets up on the back of the racing point. So now the question comes, who gets in first, who does not? Looks like BRL Exia, first guy of the top runners to get into the pits. He is going to come out on the intermediate. What can he do to make inroads on the front of the field? We've reached the crossover point, folks. Looking here at Exia to see exactly what kind of inroads. He's just gaining time, hand over fist on the cars in front. Mean Fern is right on the back of Zaizu, but about 10 seconds back and ever gaining. Look at that, 3/10 on the entry of the corner alone. Loses a little bit on the exit, but just under traction, he's going to gain that back down the straightaway and just carries that speed down the straightaway here. And looks like Zaizu stays out. That's bit of a curious strategy from the Racing Point driver. Gotta think he's going to lose a lot of time right here. Maybe he's just trying to avoid the kerfluffle in the pits. As Exia now picks up a spot on, looks like both Renaults possibly. I think Not Y'all's going to get him back. He is going to get him back on the pit exit. Pit exit very straight here, very short path to turn 2. Brown 3 picking up a 3-second time penalty. The Alpha Tower is not looking very good right now in P15, P16. So Zaizu up into P4. He and Wives, the only two cars not to pit yet. They are running nose to tail, actually. Looking back there at Zaizu from Wives. Gotta imagine both these guys are going to dive into pits here pretty quick. We've been looking at these two actually for a while as Zaizu closes up on the back of Wives on 3-lap pressure medium tires. Got a yellow flag sector 3. Not sure who that's going to be for, but I think that's going to be, yep, Thrinner retiring in the pits. And coming down this main straightaway, can Zaizu maybe get a move done before they get into the pit lane? We'll have to be careful as they go up into the pit lane here. What on earth is going on here? These guys are getting absolutely slaughtered by these cars. Oh, as I say that, not y'all behind them gets very sideways out of the final corner on those intermediates. So maybe they're not the best tire to be on, but he's going to get the move done on Zaizu quite easily there through turn 1. And now he's going to set his sights on the Renault in front. Maybe these guys are hoping it dries out a little bit, but right now this is not looking good for these two cars on the medium tire, as it looks like Exia thought about a move there but thought better of it. Zaizu maintains P5 at the moment. Now not y'all up into P3 again, and look at that, Exia just basically jamming the car between the racing point and the wall. And down to the field, looks like FinFan and Rhodes are pretty close together. I think FinFan just got by Rhodes. Really the most interesting battle right here is Zaizu getting passed by Exia. I think Zaizu and Wives are just out there on the wrong tire right now. They've made up some time overall net right now because of the pit stop as Exia goes on the grass there. And again, both of them staying out. I'm very curious as to the strategy here, because now they've got Mean Fern closing down on them coming back, and the other Renault who's on the intermediate tires. Then they got a pretty big gap, so there's really not much left to lose for these two, aside from, you know, a little bit of pride and maybe their car. Very curious. Huh. So as we wind the race down here, getting into the last 5 or 6 laps, Taylor Clan still maintains about a 6-second lead over Boskokie out front. Currently looking at unknown Newton P8. The fight really is between Mean Fern and he's actually now already gotten around them, so that drops Wives and Zaizu down. So now these two are just going to be pretty much trying to keep in front of unknown Ute behind them. DRS enabled, so is the track going to dry up towards the end here? This could play back into their hands if things start drying out a little. All these other cars out there, as looks like ARS Sciences and SSR Zampa both also opted to stay on the medium tire. If this works out for them and the track dries out, they could end up possibly P4 and P5 through all this, so it may work out for them. Don't touch that dial, folks. Things are gonna get interesting here. Now a bunch of cars diving into the pits. FinFan diving onto the soft tire, as well as SF1 Rhodes and SSR Joe. Science is going to get by both of them, by all of them on the pit exit there. Broken Reptile as well, just ahead. Shut down of #1 Fin Fan, so he is going to be right on the back of Sainz, who is on 8-lap old mediums. Going to be a pretty easy overtake there for the Racing Point driver, and then he's got about 3 seconds roughly up to the next car, Broken Reptile, who should be coming backwards. He's only on 2-lap old, as it looks like Eggsy is in the pits, as well as Mean Fern and Not Y'all, as well as Wives, who's now, well, Wives jumps up to P3. Zaizu comes in for some reason. Not sure why he came in there. That doesn't make any sense at all. You can guarantee that if I were calling this race for him, he would not have come in there. So I am going to have a very good word with both of my drivers after this. Jared, last guy on the intermediates in the pits right now, so he'll be getting off of those, and he is going to come back out in, I believe, P10. Of course, it is possible that Zaizu's tires were worn out, so we'll have to examine what went on there, but I would have liked to have seen him stay out, maybe pick up a few more places there. Track drying up very quickly here. Very unexpected to just see it stop raining and then a couple of laps later be pretty much back to being bone dry. DRC Jared actually coming out behind Broken Reptile and in front of Fin Fan by about a second. So we will see what these guys can do, and just up the road still about 6 seconds is Broken Reptile. These guys get to fighting. Of Broken Reptile is going to be SSR Zampa. Zampa made a nice recovery from the disastrous qualifying effort he has had. Just in front of him, Unknown Ute, who has just come out of the pits on a set of the soft tires, gets a 3-second time penalty there at the final chicane for hopping over the curbing. A lot of that going on right now, hopping over that curb. Towards the front, Wives has got about a 10-second gap back to Mean Fern, so I think he's safe there. He's pretty much just kind of in no man's land. Not Y'all ahead of him in P3 on much fresher tires. And then about a 25-second gap up to the front two, who are, again, Taylor Clan and Boss Cookie about 6 seconds apart. So not much changing up there. BRL Exia on the back of Zaizu, or he was at least. And here is Jared up on the back of Broken Reptile in the Alfa Romeo. The Haas going for the move down the inside. Can he make it stick? He's going to have the move done before he gets to the corner. Good, clean move there. Doesn't run it too deep. Good move. Done. Dusted. Get onto it. Fin Fan behind him picks up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Looking around. BRL Exia still about 1.1 seconds down on Zaizu. Those guys, I think that gap's just going to get bigger from there. Not really any close battles at the moment. I think the closest thing we're going to see here is Fin Fan trying to chase down Broken Reptile on those mediums and get in front of him. As now DRC Jared picks up a 3-second time penalty. Penalty's going to have a big influence on the end of this race, for certain. Meanwhile, just behind Fin Fan here is the race leader, I believe, of Taylor Clan. It is Taylor Clan behind him, so he'll have to get out of the way. Got a yellow flag in Sector 2 as DRC Jared retires from the session. What happened here? Oh, he just... What? How did he end up over there? What? How the... What the... Who the... Huh? Misa confused. Jared's car has ended up in a very odd position there at the start of Sector 2. I'm not totally sure how he ended up right there, retired from the race. Unless that's just where the car rolled into after he hit that right-hand wall, but I'm just perplexed as to what might have happened there. So we will find out after the race, hopefully, what happened to the guy in the Haas, who was doing extremely well after maybe not the best of starts to the race, and not the best of cars. So, unfortunate for him, for certain. Now Meanfern picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's got about a 6-second gap back to Zaizu. Still about 1.2 seconds clear of Bureau Exia. Unknown Ute about 16 seconds back of those guys. Followed by SSR Zampa, Broken Reptile, and number 1 FinFan. All separated by about 2.5 seconds from each other, roughly. FinFan actually going to get closer down this straightaway as looks like a Reptile going to have to get out of the way of the race leader in Taylor Clan. FinFan running some very odd lines into the corner. I'm just not really sure what he's doing right there. Running way over the right-hand side of the road. Very awkward line. Not really gaining you time. Not giving you a good angle into the entry of the next. So, weather playing a factor. Taylor Clan coming up to start his final lap. 8.5 seconds clear of Boss Cookie. Resets fast lap of the race at a 110.5. Is this man about to have a grand shalom? Well, it's not going to quite be a grand shalom, but he is going to get pole fastest lap in a race, it looks like, unless somebody can wrench that fast lap away from him. Just done a masterful job managing this race right now. And so with no clear battles on the track, we will go, as it looks like Not Y'all just knocked a piece of wing off coming on the front straightaway. He did. Wibe's about 3 seconds back. I don't think he's close enough to take advantage. Wibe's pushing those tires to the limit, trying to just make it home. Meanfern about 1.8 seconds back, so that's the closest battle I think we're going to see towards the end of this, as he tries to get that Renault ever closer to the Red Bull in front. Looking back up here at the front, Cookie just now exiting the hairpin. Coming down the main straightaway onto the front straightaway, Taylor Clan 2008 is going to win the Canadian Grand Prix. Bravo, bravo, bravo. So many ways that could have come undone with the weather and the other cars, and he has made it work so well. So well. Good job to him. Boss Cookie finishes P2. Valiant effort. A lot of time penalties there for Boss Cookie, so about probably 9 seconds, I believe. Doubles the gap to 18 seconds at the end. Wibe's coming under fire, possibly. No, not quite. Meanfern's not quite close enough for a move here as they come up to the final corner. That would have been an exciting end to the race. Everybody clacking down gears there as they come onto the front straightaway. He's going to have a bit of a run at him, but not really much to do anything. Wibe's actually going to get on the podium as Not Y'all has penalties. So Renault's P4 and P5 and a Red Bull on the podium. Zaizu comes home in P6, Exia in P7, Unknown Ute last man running in P8. And ARS Science says he can't believe it, picking up the last point in P10. Good job to the Alpha Tauri driver, considering how their night went at one point. And driver of the day does, in fact, go to ARS Science in the Alpha Tauri. I believe he started well down the field, and I believe P18, possibly. Let me take a look at that here in just a minute. First, we're going to take a quick look at the podium celebrations. Taylor Clan picking up his second consecutive win here in the Realistic Performance League. Alright. And ARS Science actually starting P19, so one worse than I thought he did. So good job to him to pick up 9 spots during the race. lot of time penalties there. Boss Cookie actually having 12 seconds of time penalties. Gonna take a quick look down race order. Not finishing the race, Ginger Horizon, Sergeant Milk, Ritzy Raccoon, and Brown Threener in the Alpha Tauri. Good job to everybody tonight. All right, so we are going to do podium interviews here in just a second. Let me get these guys in here. All right, and first to join us is Boss Cookie, the coordinator of the Realistic Performance League tier. Cookie, how are you doing tonight, bud? Pretty good. Didn't seem like you really had, didn't really seem like you quite had the performance to catch Taylor there tonight. Then again, you are in a McLaren, he's in a Mercedes, so a bit of a performance gap between those cars. But you gave him a good fight, mate, kept him honest. Did you think maybe when the rain came or was about to come, did you maybe think you had a chance to maybe pull one over on him?
Yeah, I was trying to stretch it to the rain, but then I realized that wasn't going to happen. So I lost a good 10 seconds when Taylor was on fresher tires, and I should have pit a lot earlier. But even if I were to pit optimally, I think Taylor would have either caught me or he would have got me on penalties because I'm garbage on penalties. So
Indeed, we did make a note that you had 12 seconds of time penalties, which did affect your finishing time, but not your finishing position, thankfully. So good job to Cookie on that podium. Now the man who won the race tonight, Taylor Clan, started from pole position, led almost every lap, fastest lap of the race, and the race win to boot. Very, very close to that Grand Chelem at the end of the race, but not quite leading every lap. How do you feel about it?
Start was rough. I got jumped by Cookie going into turn one and then squeezed out a bit wide, so Nail kind of got his nose there. Ended up with wing damage after turn three, so it's kind of just a keep-up game at that point until we came around to pit stops. And once I knew I had the gap to pit for a wing change, and then whenever Not You'll Know them made their stops, I would still come out ahead. I pitted, fixed my wing. I expected the rain to come earlier, but it came out right about a good timing for us because Cookie had already pitted. His softs were kind of reaching their peak, and then from there, once DRS got disabled, we instantly pitted for inners because once that gets disabled, then they're easily like 5-10 lap quicker plus. So just kind of keep your nose clean.
DRS. Exactly. That's usually how it goes here in Canada, is keeping the nose on it. Works a little bit like Monaco, just with a lot higher speeds and a lot less corners. Good job to Taylor Clan 2008, picking up his second consecutive win, I believe, here. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, I won last week. Yeah.
Okay, so the Mercedes driver doing exactly what you expect a Mercedes driver to do, racking off wins here, one after the other. And now the man on his first podium of this season, VRF1 Wives, welcome to the rostrum. How do you feel about it, bud?
Do you know what? I needed that after Danforth being in it last week, being in it after being fifth after 4 laps from the back of the grid. Yeah, I needed a good result, and yeah, finally got one to match the pace I've had. So yeah, buzzing, and driving through 10 laps on the wet track on used mediums was entertaining.
Yeah, that was definitely entertaining to watch you and Zaizu go at it there on the mediums in the rain. Was kind of questioning it for a while there, what you guys were up to, but obviously you guys know a little more than I do about the weather situation during the race. So you made it work. I kind of was questioning why, because he had 3-lap fresher tires than you did. I was kind of questioning why he pitted there at the end. I don't know if he had wing damage or what happened, but if you made it to the end, he certainly could have made it to the end on those tires. So, uh, props to you for making that work. I think you did
Thank you very
23
much.
laps, is what it said at the end there.
25. 'Cause I pitted on lap 10, I believe.
Oof, 25 laps, and how close were you to the danger zone?
They weren't actually that bad. They were only like
Yeah, I can kind of agree with him on that.
60%, I think, maximum. The rear left.
Huh. Well, that's
Yeah,
not bad
after
at
like
all.
8 laps, I think I was on 20% during the rain. So yeah, those mediums were definitely making it. I just didn't want to risk
I think the
time.
rain actually helped me because the temperature
Yeah,
went
it did.
down.
It cooled the track. That's,
Yeah.
I
I
still
have
want
to
to
say
get
though,
that on.
Cookie. Sorry, just to say this, but Cookie, either your game glitched different to mine because when you went,
Oh, he was
my
gone off the
lights were
wall.
still on.
Yeah,
lights were still
his
on.
lights were off before we went. So
Yeah, I think
that's
Cookie
a
got about
scam.
a half-second advantage on the lights. It's just something that happens with the game.
Yeah, I
Ultimately,
know
I
it
believe it
happens
sorted
every
itself
so
back out
often.
in the order it should have been, but
Yeah, I know it does happen every so often, but no, I really, really enjoyed that, boys. I had a couple of little battles where I had to pass I think it was one of the racing points, and then passing the Williams as well. I had to go around the outside turn one. That was pretty exciting.
I think we actually got that on the stream now that I think about it.
Oh, awesome! I'll have to watch that back later.
Yeah, it was Fin Fan actually that you were passing there, and
Yeah,
that was certainly something that he was. I think he was hoping a little bit more from that hard start strategy as Cookie leaves the party. Anyway, folks, that's where we're going to wrap it up tonight because we're almost at 2 hours runtime right now. So for BRL, I've been Ferrari.94, aka BRL Williams.